Welcome back to the show. Now, Charles Tarbey from Century 21 now joins us to give us the latest property numbers. But before we jump to Charles, I hear there's a rumour, Arthur, that you're also looking for Australian talent. So can I still put my hat in the ring for future ads? And what about even Charles Tarbey? We could do a double act.
Yes, we are considering Australian talent for some of the future ads.
Is this for realestate.com ad?
Yeah. So Arnold Schwarzenegger, we need some Australians in there as well. Not that my accent's that Australian.
I haven't seen them all. I'll have to have a
have a look online.
I'll have to have a squiz.
Realestate.com, Oz lives here.
There you are, Arthur.
You're on.
So what's happening? Are you selling properties these days?
Yeah, pretty good. Similar to last year. The clearance rates nationally, Chris, 72.9%. Last year was 71.5%, so pretty much on par. Sydney best performer, and that was at 76.9%. And again, last year it was not much different, 76.5%. So on par. Melbourne 73.5%. So they're all doing pretty well in comparison to what they do or what they did last year.
So we've got a bit of an upswing on that graph there.
Slight upswing from last week, but you know you're coming into the season, but level with what happened last year.
Well, we're not coming into the season at the moment with all the rain we've got in Sydney.
No,
yeah.
It was cold. It was cold. I came from the Blue Mountains.
When does spring start? Please tell me, when does spring start?
Well, why would you care? You're a pommy. You would know. This would be a heat wave for you. It's a heat wave.
But when is the spring market for property?
Oh, it's pretty much started now. The advertising campaigns have started to ramp up now. So, in fact, I'm pretty sure ads would have already started. That's why some of the properties that are coming on already sold beforehand. Maybe there's some excited
Tom
buyers.
Panos is one had today. Yep. So what about homes advertised? Are we starting to see that now?
Yeah, that's increased now. Again, 1.52% up over this time last week. So we've had now 4 weeks in a row where we've had a positive growth in properties coming on the market. In New Zealand, negative in Auckland, but in a lot of parts, other parts of the country, it's positive. So that's starting to come back again through there. So, yep, I think we're back in for a good springtime market with a lot more stock coming on.
Sounds good. That'll keep you happy as well, won't it, Arthur?
He's already happy. He's already happy.
Yeah,
they're already doing a great job.
Well, it's important because I think as more properties come on the market, I mean, a lot of agents are saying that, you know, some people have been reluctant to go on the market because they haven't got anything to buy. So as more stock comes on, they can see properties available. They're more inclined to put their own.
We need a bit of a roll.
Should be very comfortable.
Yeah,
sounds good. What about the rents?
Same,
what are the renters doing out there?
Yeah, same. Sydney 12.11% up on the charter started only 2 years ago now. Melbourne 8.01 and Perth, well, 18.57. So overall 12.9 as an average. Really not doing much at all. So you hear rents are climbing, but they're not really climbing at all at the moment.
Now, we talk about you doing your charts. Now, that reminds me of RP Data. We're 3/4 of the way through the year.
Yes.
Your bet with RP Data was 10% capital growth in Sydney.
Correct.
Who's winning the bet at the moment?
I don't know, because it's got to go over 10% for me to lose. So it's pretty close. It's a pretty close bet. We'll see what happens. I don't want to lose it because, you know, well, I reckon I won 2 years in a row. Graham reckons 1.5. I'd like to make it 3 out of 3.
Yeah, and we need some more expensive champagne next time.
Much more.
Vacancy rates, what's happening there?
Yeah, they're very steady, actually, across the country. Sydney came in at 3.16%. Melbourne came in at 3.16%, Sydney at 2.61%, and in Perth 5.99%, which is what it was last week. So the vacancy rates are 3.84% as an average, so between 3 and 4, sitting there long time now.
So all pretty steady. Now, you're travelling the country just as much as Tom, doing looking after all your reverse franchisees. What kind of messages are you getting at the moment?
I've never heard of that term before.
No.
The principals around the countryside are really excited about what's happening in the market. They really like more stock. That's the key issue. Everybody you talk to, there isn't enough stock to meet the demand, and that is always a concern coming into the marketplace that we're coming into, because I would hate to see what happened last year happen again this year. I'd like to see it more steady. So a bit more stock coming onto the market would be what most of the guys are looking for.
So if vendors are sitting on the fence at the moment, are unsure of the market, which lots of people are all the time, what would you say to them to say, well, sell your house now?
Well, it just doesn't matter. If you're selling and you're buying at the same time somewhere else, it doesn't matter. Because if you sit and wait, most people are selling at a lower price to buy up. If they wait, they end up paying more because the percentage increase goes right across the board. So if you don't sell now to buy something at a higher price, you're going to end up paying more at the other end by waiting. And that's the biggest issue for them.
And again, what would you say to people that say, right, OK, what would make you sell, say, at the start of spring versus the middle of the market rather than leave it to Christmas Eve? And then what difference does it make for those three decisions?
I don't think there's any difference right now. I think anything that comes on the market that's reasonable is getting a lot of activity. And as I said, if they want to move on right now and buy something, now's the time to do it. Because as it starts to gather momentum towards Christmas, there will be more energy. And that will cause a higher price that they'll have to pay.
And I guess from you seeing your site, I guess certain properties just get literally snapped up straight away?
They do. But as Charles saying, there's high demand at the moment. Supply's still short, so anything coming up is getting snapped up pretty quickly.
So good property always sells with a good agent, of course.
Of course, yeah.
Good stuff.
Of course.
Charles Tarbey from Century 21, Arthur Chaleftis from realestate.com. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us at home. I hope you've enjoyed the show. We'll see you next week. Until then, I'm Chris Gray. Good night.
The information featured in this program is general in nature and therefore should not be